So Chapter 1, Section 1, Problem 5 gives us a situation where someone is essentially discussing the effects of schooling in the classroom and how the grading system can affect the student's motivation to study and go to class and be a good student. And so the first part of the question is, how could the grading system a teacher uses affect the incentives of students to learn the course material? Well, essentially, grades are the incentives that teachers give to students to study and to get good grades and pay attention in class. And students maximize a utility function where grades are one of the goods that they get out of it. As a result, grading greatly influences student behavior because it essentially drives all their studying, all their focus in class, all their participation and everything. And if a teacher only chooses to take certain grades for certain materials, say maybe homework assignments or pop quizzes, then students will be influenced to study material more than other material that they could potentially study instead. And that would be the opportunity cost, or the opportunity cost of studying for this class with a harder grading system would be the cost of, or the time that you could have put into another class that is hypothetically easier than this class. So the second part is, if teachers put too little weight on one area of the grading scale, such as say quizzes or tests or homework, how would this affect the students and how would they respond to this change? Well, if say homework is worth 10%, whereas tests are worth 90%, then obviously students would spend a lot more of their time studying for tests than doing their homework, because tests are worth so much more to their grade than homework does. And this is because students strive to maximize this utility function to get the best possible grade that they can using their limited resources such as time and energy. And so in that case, like I said before, they would end up studying more, or they would prioritize certain areas of the rubric over others. Whereas the first one would be grades is incentives for students and therefore drives their actions in the classroom to receive good grades. And so the third part of this is, how do you set the grading system to motivate students to come to class prepared? Well, like we established before, the grades are students' incentives for doing all these things, for coming to class, for studying, for doing well on homework and whatnot. And so if a teacher wants to incentivize students to come to class, then she can also utilize the grades and the grading rubric to do this. A good example of this would be pop quizzes. And this is because pop quizzes are just that, surprises. Students never know when they're going to happen or if they're going to happen at all. But the threat or the danger of potentially taking a pop quiz and not knowing anything and thus failing puts enough fear in them to study all the time. And if the teacher is known for giving pop quizzes, this will incentivize students to come to class prepared, because not coming to class unprepared would mean a greater chance of failure and thereby not achieving the desired result that they want out of the class. And so pop quizzes are a way to motivate students to come to class prepared. There we go. The answer to the third part. Here's the answer to the second part. And here's the answer to the first part.